much any of you know about me, but in real life, I'm an advocate. And I swear the reason why we still have to wear those really long, embarrassing, hot cloaks is so when you're standing up in court and you have to speak in front of people, nobody can see your knees knocking together. There are two quotes that have stood out for me this year, and the one Jax has already identified. But the first one, just for now, is once upon a time you were a little girl with big dreams that you promised you'd make real one day. Don't disappoint yourself. Now, I'm pretty sure that's something we can all relate to, right? We all had dreams growing up. Some a little crazier than others. Maybe you wanted to be a doctor. Maybe you wanted to be a fireman. Maybe you wanted to play in the Wimbledon final. I did. I wanted to be Steffi Graf playing Monica Seles. Maybe as you got older, you dreamt about traveling around the world. Maybe running your business is a dream that you have, being financially independent. We all have dreams. So now the tough question. How many of us proactively take steps to chase those dreams? How many of us are prepared to take the risks that are necessary to achieve great reward? It's not always easy or convenient to follow your heart. But before I start waxing lyrical about chasing dreams, and I can honestly talk about that all day, let me tell you about the alternative. What happens when you don't take the risk? Nothing. Nothing bad is going to happen to you if you decide not to actively pursue your goal. There's nothing wrong with living your life risk-free, comfortable, content, as things just pass you by. A little black mark is not going to go down against your name in the big book of life. So what? Why bother? It's so much easier to go with the flow, to take the easy road, the one that everybody travels. The thing is, you are your greatest critic. You are the person most responsible for judging you, what you do or what you don't do. Can you guarantee that one day, likely when it's too late, you won't wake up and be disappointed with the person who didn't take that risk, who didn't go for those extra lessons, enroll for that after school or after work class, decide not to participate in a particular event, not to accept a promotion, because those things might have made your life a little bit more difficult. One day when you're old and gray, are you sure you're going to be able to say, I lived a life without regret? I did not let my talent go to waste. I did not let that opportunity pass me by. I really hope that one day when my time is up, I can say that. Starting today, right now, is there something you can do to commit to? Something that's probably going to make your life really uncomfortable and more crazy and more manic and more complicated than it is right now, and I'm sure we all have crazy, complicated lives already. But is there something that truly motivates you and keeps you focused and will keep you focused even when things get tough? Do you have a dream so big that it seems almost impossible? The second quote, and the one which Jax mentioned, are the words of Eric Liddell from the movie Chariots of Fire. And it says, I believe that God made me for a purpose, but he also made me fast. And when I run, I feel his pleasure. On the 10th of June, I recited that quote in my mind over and over again. When I run, I feel his pleasure. When I run, that's when I feel God's pleasure. I felt God's pleasure over those 90 kilometers, and I continue to feel God's pleasure every day. Because I honestly believe that running is the purpose for which I was created. And I don't say that because I just won the Comrades Marathon. For me, that's like a huge value add and pure bonus point. I say that because it is through running and with running that I believe I can make the biggest contribution to the lives of the people around me. In 2013, my husband, my long-suffering husband, and I started Born to Run. It was a national running club aimed at what we called adult athlete development. It was to help athletes who perhaps didn't have the opportunity to reach their full potential as youth and young athletes But they wanted to be better. They didn't want to be a back of the pack runner, they wanted to be closer to the front runner, and they needed an opportunity to do that. As part of that initiative, we also launched a grassroots development program in Soweto led by SA marathon runner Jerry Modiga, which later morphed into the Adopt an Athlete program, where each social runner in our club could adopt a disadvantaged runner and mentor and assist them to reach their full potential. 4 years down the line, having established a vibrant social and sub-elite and elite national running club, I decided my skills, or rather my passion for running, would be better used in the promotion of female ultra-distance running, specifically the development of black female talent in the Comrades Marathon space. Enter Team Massmart. Team Massmart is a team of 10 ladies. It's proudly sponsored by one of the most generous and supportive, dedicated sponsors I've ever had the privilege of dealing with. Even when I'm relegated to the ASA doghouse, they still have my back. On and off the road, running is my passion. Sure, sometimes, not usually when I'm in court, but sometimes I enjoy being an advocate, more so that I'm now actually getting paid at last. But my first love is on the road and the people on it. And luckily for me, the running space is also where I can be used. Reading both my quotes together, my message to you today should be becoming clear. Use the skills and the talent that you have to chase your dreams, and in so doing, live a life without regret. 10 years ago, I was a novice runner, training 4 days a week, fitting my running in and around a busy social calendar and an absolutely manic work week. I was your stereotypical wannabe high-powered corporate lawyer, tottering around in my stilettos and power suits, matching designer handbag. I knocked back on average per day as much coffee as it takes to sustain a small Colombian army. And I probably got done as many goos on the weekend as I did glasses of wine on an average day of the week. Running to me was a nice to have. It was a stress release compared to the many other far more important commitments in my diary. So what changed? How did I get from being one of the youngest senior associates appointed in my big corporate law firm, sleeping under my desk and living off canteen food, to the winner of the Comrades Marathon? My journey to Comrades 2018 started quite ironically on the finish line of Comrades 2016. In November 2015, having had an absolute mare of a race at the Kaapstad Marathon, which is a net downhill marathon that everybody races too fast up in Mpumalanga, I tore my calf running a 5-kilometer park run in East London. Yes, folks, no superhuman endurance feat for me. One of my worst injuries, park run. The tear was so bad I was unable to use that leg for weeks. No more stilettos. I could barely walk down the passage of my office, never mind contemplate going for a run down the road. I actually thought my running career was over before it had even started. 6 weeks later, which times exactly for the new year, disgusted at how much food and drink I'd managed to put away over the Christmas period, I took myself for a little trot. I did 2 Ks down the road and I walked back. And the next day I did 3 Ks down the road and I walked back, and then 4 and then 5. A little bit more every day. Slowly I built myself up with easy runs and cross training, and lined up 6 weeks later, severely undercooked for the Pick and Pay Marathon. Yo, that was a mistake. At 30 kilometers, my body had literally had enough. I could not take another step. I was in a world of pain. I didn't finish the race. 3 weeks later, I'm still licking my wounds, contemplating life, when a friend of mine, Michelle, asked me if I'll be her partner at African X. Now, African X is a 3-day trail race. It's a stage race where you compete as teams, as partners, and then, the fastest time across 3 days ultimately are the winners. I am not a trail runner. I am so clumsy, I trip over cat's eyes. Trail running is definitely not what I should be doing. And I definitely wasn't fit enough to run 100 Ks in 3 days. But hey, I'm up for anything, cool, let's go. As long as you know, Michelle, I'm not a trail runner and I'm unfit, so please don't hope that we shoot the lights out. We covered about 25 to 30 Ks a day. It was really hot, really hilly, but really fun. And somehow, we came fourth. Who knew? Had a lot of fun, and I thought, sure, I managed to run 100 Ks in 3 days. I've got about 11, 12 weeks till Comrades. I've got an entry. Maybe I can make it happen. So I was like, I'll train, and then I'll only start the race if I think I can get a silver medal. Okay, guys, it's all about perspective, hey? In the 10 weeks between African X and Comrades, I did what can really only be described as sheer panic training. No reasonable person would ever have tried to cram in as many miles as I tried to get into those 10 weeks. I say that, but I managed to get more in this year. I finished Comrades that year in a new PB of 7:07, finished placing 13th in the ladies' race, and I just honestly didn't know how that was possible. All I could think was, wow, that crazy training must have worked. How do I do it again? Clearly a sucker for punishment, I then contacted notorious slave driver coach John Hamlet, also known as Colonel Coach. Ex-army colonel, high up in the old army intelligence. This man is a force to be reckoned with, and he rules his camp with a whistle like nobody's business. I asked him if he would coach me, and he refused. He said, female athletes are, quote, too crazy, alternatively too soft. Somehow I managed to convince him that I was different, and he has now nicknamed me the Iron Lady after all. Colonel Coach decided to take a chance on me, and I signed up for the most manic 2 years of my life. So it began. The past 2 years, I gave up my job. I changed how I eat, how I sleep, how I train, even how I think. Everything I did had to be geared towards my running. I couldn't work my 8 to 8 corporate job. I couldn't be my designer handbag toting corporate lawyer anymore. I had to give that up. So I signed up for pupillage to become an advocate, which means you go without a salary for 15 months. I had a bond, I had a car, I had a mother I support, I have a husband. We had stuff that, still were our responsibilities, but we made a plan. I racked up an incredible amount of debt. Life was hectic, and let me tell you, being a student at age 34 is not lekker. I would go to class in the morning, having just finished a run, sweaty and disgusting, with everybody else dressed like professionals. I'd then go in and I'd be doing my on-site training. I'd go for a quick run before class. I'd go back into class looking sweaty and disgusting, and I was judged in the extreme. People didn't think I was crazy. They definitely thought I wasn't taking my job seriously. Now, to some of you, that might seem a little bit extreme. It seems pretty unreasonable to give up a stable career, sell your car, move in with your mother, and essentially live on a diet of protein and green vegetables. That's what I thought. But the flip side of it is as follows. If I hadn't been prepared to risk it all, if I hadn't been prepared to make those sacrifices and give my running a real shot, would I have won Comrades? Would I ever have achieved my dream? No ways. Would I have woken up one day in a big house and a flashy car, partner at some law firm, thinking, what if? What if, Anne, you'd really given it a go? What if you'd make those sacrifices and really raced Comrades that once? Definitely. Would I otherwise have reached my full potential? No. Not even close. You see, today, right now, even having achieved what I used to think was the ultimate goal, I'm still hungry. I'm still looking for the next opportunity, the next big new challenge in my life. I want more. And having taken the risk and made the sacrifices, I'm now even more willing to make more sacrifices and take bigger risks. It's become even easier for me to dream. So returning to the message behind today's talk, use the skills and the talent that you have to chase your dreams, and in so doing, live a life without regret. People, and South Africans in particular, have this wonderful ability to make a plan. I encourage each of you to sit down, have a serious conversation with yourself, and make a plan to realize your full potential. Make a plan to chase your dreams. I can almost guarantee that every single one of you have something that you wish you could do. You wish that you could win comrades. You wish that you could play really amazing, beautiful violins. Whatever your dream is, make a plan. If you're really honest with yourself, despite your commitments, your financial constraints, I think you'll recognize that can't is a choice. Can't is a choice. You can. It's more accurate for you to say, I can't easily. I can't without sacrifice. I can't without risk. But you can. And if you don't, you will regret it. Last year in the build-up to Comrades 2017, I read a book by Mark Battersea called Chase the Lion. Essentially, the main thrust of the message is this: if your dreams don't scare you, if it's not so big that it's destined to fail without divine intervention, it's not big enough. My build-up to Comrades this year was tumultuous, to say the least. I had a very busy first 3 months of the year professionally. I got sick with flu twice. I went to training camp, developed a gluten intolerance, couldn't take on any carbohydrate, lost a drastic amount of weight. I was the skinniest at race day that I've ever been in my whole life. I'm not even sure how I was standing upright. And then add to that, 10 days before Comrades, I got the mother of all tummy bugs. I was in bed for 5 days. I would get up in the morning, I would run 10 Ks in and out of the bushes. I'd go home, I'd get into bed. In the afternoon, I'd get up and I'd run 10 Ks in and out of the bushes, and I'd go back. I did that for 5 days. I lost any kind of reserves that I had. I was dangerously anemic. My hematocrit levels were way below a normal person. Now, I'm an elite athlete. I've been training at high altitude. I should be looking seriously good on the red blood count level. They were completely depleted. And I thought, yeah, not again. Not after Comrades 2017 when I broke my butt on the starting line. Like, not again. And on the Sunday before Comrades, I said to my mom, Mom, I can't do this. I'm too tired. I'm too sick. I'm too dehydrated. I'm totally drained. I can't line up for this race and not do well. Like, after everything that we've sacrificed, I can't do it. And my mom sat down with me, and it was only at that time that God's purpose became real. She said to me, Anne, you have a God-given talent. You need to trust God to reward you for the sacrifices you have made. And you need to use your talent to promote God. And so I did. I got through. That was not about me, that's about God. I got through a hectic day. Hey, did anyone watch? How exciting was that race? Woohoo! Put on a real great show, God did, I swear. I mean, I can't tell you. I could take you blow by blow through my Comrades experience, but promise you we'd be here till tomorrow. And also, it hasn't got the cleanest language, so I definitely won't be using it here. But I can't tell you what happened. I can't tell you how I won Comrades. I don't know. It was a crazy, insane day. It's like it was one of those days where everything goes right, where you don't feel pain, where somehow you just get your nutrition perfect. I didn't even have a black toenail or a blister. Like, is this for real? You don't run 90 Ks without a black toenail or a blister. Nothing. And then I could even go out on Sunday nights and have some champagne and like dance on the tables. Like, seriously, guys, it totally wasn't legit. But I can tell you how I did it. I did it because it was God's plan. And I honestly believe that to be true. Because there is no other explanation for me having pulled that one out of the bag. And so after Comrades, I had a good talk to myself and a good think. And I said, okay, so if this was God's plan, to what end? It's not for God to give me such an amazing opportunity. It's not for God to reward me in this way. It's got to mean something. It's got to count for something. Like, what's the plan? And then came that email from ASA. And I was like, there it is. That's what I need to be doing. I need to be fighting for the rights of other athletes. I need to be holding our government institutions accountable. I need to be making sure that all runners have equal opportunities. I need to be making sure that there are opportunities for development and sponsorship and finance for disadvantaged athletes. That's what I need to be doing. So this platform that I've got now needs to be used for a greater good than myself. And that's the fight that I've picked. And I honestly believe that that's the fight that God wants me to have, because nobody else is having it and somebody has to. So enough about ASA, because that's super negative. Today, I just wanted to encourage each of you to truly chase your dreams. God specializes in making big, audacious, outrageous dreams come true. You need to entrust your hopes and your dreams to Him and watch your miracle unfold. I took the plunge. I made a plan. Or rather, God made His plan for me known. And one thing's for sure, I'm never going to regret it. Then I wanted to share with you my poem, not my poem, the poem that I got from Chase the Lion, and it is in my Instagram feed in its original version. And I don't have it here. Is it on the screen? This is how disorganized I am. Quit living as if the purpose of life is just to arrive safely at death. Jump from the ledge. Set God-sized goals. Pursue God-given passions. Go after a dream that is destined to fail without divine intervention. Stop pointing out problems. Become part of the solution. Stop repeating the past. Start creating the future. Face your fears. Fight for your dreams. Find your feathers and take flight. Live like today is the first day and the last day of the rest of your life. Burn sinful bridges, blaze a new path. Live for the applause of nail-scarred hands. Don't let what's wrong with you keep you from worshiping what's right with God. Dare to fail. Dare to be different. I'm just an ordinary person. I'm just an advocate from Natal, now living in Johannesburg, minding my own business. Sometimes. But I'm just a regular Joe. Like, seriously, there's nothing very special about me. But I had a dream, and God let that dream be realized. And I truly encourage you to just commit your dream to God and be brave enough to chase it. Who knows what could happen?